Good evening. How are you? Whew. Is that shining right on my forehead like that? Oh, hang on. Just sat here for about half an hour trying to get the lighting right, which I thought I did. Good evening. How are we? Warm out today, boys and girls, innit? Jesus, wept he did. Absolutely baking. I did 7 miles today, ran Danson Park, absolutely blowing out my arse. I thought I was going to have an heart attack at one point. But, yeah, I just moved that bit a little bit like that. Is that better? That'd do. You can see this here. That. You can see that. That's the production light. It's just a reflection of the production light. For some reason, I can't seem to crack it when I'm doing live streams. Other little problem I've had this week is I said to Mini Me the weekend, close that curtain, boy, shut the blind. I don't know what he was doing, the baby rhinoceros. He's yanked the thing clean off the wall, put all his strength. So I can't bring the blind down to black it out completely. So any light issues we may face tonight, this is what can happen during a live stream. I won't start just yet because we're pre-8 o'clock. So how are you? Rocky Dog 6, good evening. Greetings from Dublin. Hello, mate. Anyone else want to say hello, just so I know you can all hear me and see me well, and you are responding to what I'm saying, which is sort of what we're here for, and for you to choose a team. This was, by the way, Millwall fan from Porto, Brazil. Hello, mate. Thanks for joining us. Charlie MFC 2205. Hello. This was difficult. The lone 11 was the most difficult one yet. I've been big thanks to the Lions TV boys because they've dug me out and out here when he's getting the shortlist right. It was very, very difficult. Hello. Wondering if you can help. I can't get hold of anybody at Millwall. Can you suggest how to get hold of someone? Well, firstly, I don't work for the club. Lions TV is an independent fan channel. Absolutely nothing to do with the club. A lot of people still don't realise that. But it depends what you want. It depends what you want, what you're after. There's a million different sections. Kieran Perry says, need a win against Barnsley massively, mate. And it looks like Sean Hutchinson could be in trouble. Someone says, greetings from Brooklyn, New York. John Triers. How you doing, mate? Thanks for tuning in. That's New York, Brazil, Ireland, Serbia. Psychedelic Shinamangami. Greetings from Serbia. John Robertson just comes in early and says, Huckabee, this is difficult today. This is difficult. And we're still 2 minutes away, so I won't start just yet for those. Oh, mind you, they can just catch up, can't they? So basically, I thought I'd do a loan 11. Now, there was 2 ways to go around this. Loans only or loans that became permanent deals, which I wasn't going to incorporate. But there's also permanent deals that we sold and then came back as loans and then ended up signing again. There's a lot of different ways around this. And I wasn't going to incorporate the likes of Tony Craig, Steve Morrison, Darren Ward. Sorry. It's greetings from South Sudan. Can you shout my channel out? Wow. Anyway, sorry, getting back to the show. Yeah, so there's many different ways to go around it. I won't please everyone with the way we're going around it, but it is what it is. The most difficult decision you're going to have is when we come to strikers. I think we're definitely going to have to go with a 4-3-3 because long strikers we've had include Dion Dublin, Steve Claridge, Darren Huckabee, Chris Wood, Harry Kane, and of course Steve Morrison. So very, very difficult. It's just driving me mad, that thing there. I'm going to try and do something about it. If I can just put that a shot. Just quickly before we start. Get out of shot. It's still in shot, but there you go. Right. So, yeah, difficult. Lots and lots of difficult decisions. Lots of decisions. Can you shout this? Can you shout at the SNR boys? What the hell? Lots of people asking for shout-outs. I don't usually do shout-outs, by the way, in case you've forgotten, because it's just pointless. It's not going to get you anywhere if I do a shout-out. Graham White. All right, broski. Graham White's back in the game. Right, that's going to do for lighting. This thing here is annoying me slightly. I'm not going to lie to you. That is annoying where I can see the corner of the production light in the room, but we're going to have to go with it, unfortunately, boys and girls. Declan Penny says, looking sharp. Cheers, Deck. Yeah, got one of the old no one likes us polos on. Jesus Christ, we sold some face masks the weekend. I wasn't even keen to put the face masks on, but you know, the guy who knows it all and does it all says put face masks on. We sold hundreds. Right. Let's start out. A Millwall loan 11. As I said, these shortlists are very, very difficult. And if there's anyone we missed out, for example, there's some players that came into Millwall that were good players for us, long-term players for us, but started out as loans. And it was difficult to remember who wasn't a loan, who wasn't a loan. Oliver Smile says, did I see the new line under the arch at Millwall? Yes, I've posted out on social media about that. But tonight we're doing a show on best ever, loan 11. So we're comfortably past 8 o'clock now. Thank you for tuning in early. And I'm going to, there's some weird comments tonight. There's a guy that's just put something completely in looks like Brazilian. And I don't speak Portuguese. I'm going to go Portuguese, is that right? Right, okay. So, best ever loan 11, 3 from each position. There's a couple where I'm going to give certain players in certain positions who's very strong. Left midfield's very strong, so I'm going to give the players that don't make that the chance for a double jeopardy. I didn't say it had to be 1985 to 220, by the way, but I don't think back in the day loans was really a thing as much, was it? As it is now. Emergency loans, fucking youth loans, loan players to get people off the wage bill. Joe O'Mara, hello. So yeah, loans back in the day wasn't really a thing. It's quite a more modern era sort of thing, isn't it? Loans. But let's get into it. Let's see how we go. So of course, I will give you 3 players, and I have used players that have gone on to be permanent players at the club. And I thought it'd be stupid not to, because saying the best loans we've ever had, well, obviously they were so good as loans, we've ended up signing them permanently. So it would be silly to leave them out. Plus, we were struggling for numbers a bit on players in positions. So I'm going to tell you some players. I'll tell you where they come from on loan, how many times they played for us, what the year was, if they're forwards, any goals they score, because that's the biggest decision of all up front. And yeah, we'll go from there. Don't vote until I tell you to vote. So don't just, as soon as I start talking about someone, just start putting their names in the comments. And when you count, obviously when you vote, yeah, like Dean Turner's already put Johnson at right back. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, Dean. So when I say the name, when I tell you to vote, vote. And please, when you do vote, just put a name. And hopefully Steve Lees or Kieran, the other fellow who's doing it the other week, are around to Darryl, hello mate, to count the votes, shall we say. Right. Goalkeepers. Now, there could be people we've missed. There could be people we haven't missed. I'm going to go back in eras. I'm going to go back to the first one we signed on loan from Ipswich, Andy Marshall. Andy Marshall come 2004. He played 7 games. Of course, we then signed him permanently, and he went on to play from 2004 to 2006, playing 60 games. Of course, he was our goalkeeper in the FA Cup final against Man United at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff when Tony Warner was obviously out injured. John Sutton injured him. He's still not happy about that. Chris Sutton's brother. So, Andy Marshall, he's in there. Slightly before Andy Marshall, a great goalkeeper down the years, a great podcaster as well. He's always bouncing about on podcasts and doing a bit. And I don't even really remember him being at the club. I don't know if he came in for cover later on in his career. We got him up from Nottingham Forest. He's Mark Crossley. He played in 1998, 14 games for Millwall. Great keeper. And of course, the last option I've gone with, again, an Ipswich loanee. I think he's going to piss up in the vote. I'm pretty sure he will. He is now a Millwall player. He is now our current number 1. I'm not going to hold the 3rd goal on Saturday against him, although he should have saved it against Derby County. And that is, of course, the big man, the Polish Panther, Bartosz Bulkowski. So, nice, easy start. I'm pretty sure we're all going to go with this one. Andy Marshall, Mark Crossley, Bartosz Bulkowski. Vote. Mick Robinson's flown him with an Andy Marshall. Dean Turner comes in with a Bartman. They withheld your comment there for some reason, Dean. Don't know why you would withhold Bartman. Steve Lees, good evening, mate. You're in. Daniel Whitnell says Crossley. Now, listen, Mark Crossley was a great goalkeeper. If you had to pick a goalkeeper out of three for an all-time team, not Millwall, just any all-time team. By the way, when people are putting Bartman, I don't know why, it's holding it for review in the comments. Carly says, I'm glad Crossley's in there. Yeah, I had a little dip into the archives. I could probably get him on Mark Crossley, but again, he's only ever played 14 games. Could be a difficult one. I could probably get Gavin Maguire on, but again, that could be, he only played one season. I'll tell you another one I could get on. Wants to come on is New Emblem. New Emblem was a great player for us, but again, he wasn't there long. Got sold on, so not sure. Right, is someone counting those votes, or have I got to do it? The Panther or the Bartman also obviously counts as Bartos Balkowski. Joseph Sardena says Bart all day long. Ronnie Gallia says has to be Bart, one of the best in the league. I agree with that. Daniel Young, Andy Marshall. Oliver Smile, Andy Marshall for me. Bart not playing long enough at Millwall. Yes, fair point. I think Andy Marshall, he ain't played that many less. Derry Douglas, Mark Crossley on Under the Fish. I think you mean Under the Cosh, but I think your keyboard's done you there. Steve Lees, you legend. I love you, Steve. Love your support on the channel. Right, and Steve Lees comfortably tells me that Bart Balkowski with 12 votes, Mark Crossley with 5, and Andy Marshall with 4. And then Andy East comes in, Bart. And then Ron Gallia confirms Steve leaves. Steve leaves? You don't leave, Steve. I love you. Steve Lees' count. And it is the Polish Panther, Bart Balkowski in goal. There you go. There's the aforementioned. There it is, the budget breaker. That's what I spent £2.50 on. Best £2.50 I've ever spent. Yeah, I know what you mean, Derry, mate. It's fine. But Adam Collins says Aidan Davison was a lone goalkeeper. I think Graham Stack was a lone goalkeeper for a while. There's other lone goalkeepers, put it that way. But the shortlist goes that I choose the 3 for the shortlist. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Trying to sort me barn out a bit there. I don't know. Sorry, something there. Shouldn't really worry. You're not in this from here. You're in this for the picking your team. Right backs. Oh yeah, there is 3 right backs. There's 3 right backs. Now, one right back I'm going to bring your attention to straight away is one that Joe O'Mara said. What about him? He played for us. And it's just an interesting story. Andy Wilkinson played for us 2014, 2015, 9 games. It was actually his last club. And he retired in the summer after of a serious head injury. He was at Stoke for 15 years, 2001 to 2016. His whole career, pretty much. Well, his whole career, start to finish. He was with Stoke. He went out on loan a couple of times to a few places. He only ever played 160 times for Stoke in 9 years or 11 years or so whatever it was. So, yeah, blighted by injury, apparently. Wasn't at his best when he came to us and retired not long after. So Andy Wilkinson's in there. Now, this will be a difficult decision, your next one. And the boys earlier on Lions TV were saying to me, well, should we count the loaners, how good they went on to do elsewhere? Should we count the loaners, how effective they was for Millwall? There's a million different ways you can interpret it. So you interpret it as the fans any way that you want to interpret it. So the other 2, don't vote yet. Are obviously Adam Smith, got him on loan from Spurs 2012 to 13, 25 games. He's currently at Bournemouth, obviously playing in the Premier League. He's played 153 times for them since 2014. Still in and around the first team. And, of course, the other one, this one's one for me that I remember it, but it was later. I don't remember it being so early on. 2002, Glenn Johnson, of course, on loan from the enemy, West Ham, when he's from just down the road in Dartford. Played 8 games for us in 2002. Went on to have an absolutely brilliant career for Chelsea, Liverpool. Played for a few teams. And who else did he play for? Glenn Johnson. So, one name, one vote. Glenn Johnson, Adam Smith, Andy Wilkinson. Vote. Peter O'Mara. All right, Pete, take your capstock off. Charlie Richardson, how you doing? Glenn Johnson, Andy Wilkinson. Adam Smith votes. It will get more difficult as it goes on. Pete, someone commented yesterday. I forgot to tell you. Forgot to put you in the group. Someone said me and you should be the new Saint and Greasy. Pete, what about that? I don't know which one you want to say you are. Who do you want to be, Saint or Greasy? I'll be Greasy because he scored all the goals. And comprehensively, it looks like Glenn Johnson is going to comprehensively win this vote. 17-1. Wow. The good-looking one. Right, he's in. And I thought he would be. And listen, it's I've just wiped bar off with my left hand. By the way, it's difficult to write on a whiteboard. Someone said to me the other day, "Your writing," Connor said to me, "Your writing's terrible." And I'm left-handed. So as I write left-hand on a white, if you're a lefty, you'll feel my pain. Because as you write on a whiteboard, your hand drags behind you and wipes off what you've already written. So you've got to sort of come down on it like that. Glenn Johnson is in as the best ever right back, low knee. It gets more interesting. Break us in nice and easy. This, by the way, was horrendous. First things first, I've got to stop using old pens because all the pens went. Notes, more notes. It's just absolute carnage, the amount of notes I had to make for this one. I was actually a little bit pushed for time. But we're going to move on. I should have a graphics man, really. Someone putting all graphics up and all that, but we'll leave that there. Right, left backs. Now, another thing I was going to say, this could end up being a little bit of a video where it's supposed to be the best, but where we've not had many players in each position, could end up being the best of the worst, in effect. And one player that's got in at left back was also a candidate for the worst left back in all-time 11. But can anyone think of any really good... Whiteboard is racist. Can anyone think of decent left backs we had on loan? We're asking you because this was at the point where I decided to put in legendary Millwall players that I didn't really want to put in, but I did. Like Tony Craig, Steve Morrison further up the pitch, Darren Ward, obviously. So I couldn't think of too many left backs. So Dan Harding is actually in the vote. And I know he shouldn't be, but I can't think of many other left backs. He came to Millwall in 2015 on loan from Nottingham Forest. And I remember him being shit. And I remember that being the year we went down. Maybe that's why he looked shit. But during his career, he had a very good career. Forest, Brighton, Leeds, Ipswich, Southampton, and England under-21s. But after Millwall, that was pretty much his last club before going back to Forest and being released. And he ended up at Eastleigh and then Whitehawk. So something obviously wasn't at his best when he was at Millwall. So Dan Harding's your first one. Don't vote yet. I'm just going to talk you through the others. Shane Lowry. Now, Shane Lowry was a permanent Millwall left back. I don't remember him coming on loan, but he did in 2011 and 2012. He played 9 games. Then he joined the club permanently in 2012 to 2014. He played 74 times, scoring 2 goals, of course, famously against the Anoraks at the Valley with that absolute banger of a free kick. Kenny Brown, someone says. Kenny Brown was a right back. Charlie Richards says Scott Malone. Did Scott Malone come on loan first? Danny Chappell says Fergie. Did Fergie come on loan first? Yeah, maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. But so far, the shortlist I've made is Dan Harding, Shane Lowry, and this, again, will probably be quite a comprehensive one in the vote. Maybe it won't. Is Tony Craig. Now, Tony Craig obviously started out here, will come through the ranks, got into the first team 2003 till 2007, got sold to Crystal Palace, came back to Mill on loan in 2008, played 5 times, scoring 1 goal, left again, went around the houses, come from Brentford back in 2000 No, sorry, let me say that again. Tony Craig come through the ranks 2003, played till 2007, got sold to Palace, come back in 2008 and played 5 games. Then he went off again. And he come back in 2008 to 2012 permanently, playing 121 times and scoring 4 goals. Then he went to Brentford. Then he came back again permanently between 2015 and 2018, playing 65 times and scoring 3 goals. Shane Ferguson is one I've missed. Right, so let's fuck Dan Harding off out of it then. And I tell you what, let's go four. Let's go four. And then let's go 4 ways on this one. Shane Lowry, Tony Craig, Shane Ferguson, or no, that's it. Steve Lee's just checked. Scott Malone wasn't he? Right. Shane Lowry, Shane Ferguson, Tony Craig. Vote. Ferguson, Craig. If you put in Ferguson, you need your. I'm sorry, I know it's your decision, but you need your fucking head tested. If you think Tony Craig over. You think Ferguson over Tony Craig or Lowry. So thirsty. Yeah, Dan Harding got dinged from the fucking vote there. Shane Lowry, Tony Craig, Shane Ferguson. And again, you can interpret that any way you want. You can interpret it how well they did when they came back on loan. You can interpret it, what they went on to do for the club as a permanent player. You can interpret that any way you like. It's your team. You choose. Your vote. It looks like a little bit of a toss-up between Lowry and TC here. Cardi, Lowry, Danny Chappell, Craig. Harry Lavelle Baker, the actor, says Craig. Steve Young, Lowry. Millwall Tube says Craig. Adam Young, Craig. Adam Collins, Craig. Charlie Ruler says TC. Joseph Sardena says Lowry all day long. Rocky Dogs on Lowry. Paul Lyon says TC. Ferguson free. Oh, I can only see Lowry. How comes he's got so much less than... Steve Lees has confirmed what Ronnie Galia has said. And Tony Craig makes it in as left back for the all-time 11. Oh, that's not even a Sharpie. It's a blue pen. Sharpie's on the board. Tony Craig. Oh, no. I might have spent another £2.50 up. Shop, what's it, Wilco's? Pen's starting to run out. Right. Okay. Centre-backs. Now, this is where it does get difficult. It's going to be difficult for you now to start getting these players in. You may have think so far this has been a doddle. It's been a piss-up. But, Steve, you do the counting, then that's... Otherwise, too many people start doing it, start confusing it. Right, you just enjoy the show, Ronnie. And Steve's the independent adjudicator. Centre-backs. Now, again, some very, very great centre-backs. Some very good centre-backs. So, obviously, we got it in 2 sets of 3. Now, the first 3 I'm going to give you. Again, I had to, in my head, the first one I'll tell you, I thought, was Darren Ward a loanee? And he was a loanee. Again, Darren Ward, 3 spells at the club. Started out with us originally 2001 to 2005. Of course, played in the FA Cup final. Then he went to Palace as well. They went to Palace, didn't they? He came back from Wolves in 2009 after leaving Palace for Wolves. And then we re-signed him in his second spell permanently, 2010 to 2013, 87 games, 2 goals. One of those goals was against Charlton home in a 4-0 win where Steve Morrison scored a couple. I remember that. So, yeah, Darren Ward actually started with us, not his career, but came as a permanent player, went away, come back as a loanee. We enjoyed his loan spell. We re-signed him. So, there's one. Second, Josh, why can't I say this guy's name? He was a shortlist for our all-time foreign 11. Josh Hoeveld. Josh Hoeveld come on loan to us from Southampton. He played 15 times, scoring 1 goal. Again, the 1 goal was against Charlton. That was in 2015. That was a 2-1 win at the Den, wasn't it? That was a 2-1 win at the Den. Okay? And the third centre-back is from Reading in 2017. We all know this one without absolute doubt. Jake Cooper came on loan, played 15 games, scored 2 goals, and then he joined permanently. So far, he's played 121 games, scoring 9 goals. He's playing something like 120 straight, I think, as well in the league. So don't forget, there's 2 centre-backs, so you're going to get 2 sections of 3. The first 3 to choose from is Jake Cooper, Josh Hoeveld, and Darren Ward. Vote. Nethercott was a loanee. Nethercott's in the next section. Darren Ward, Josh Hoeveld. Don't vote him in because I can't say his name properly. Or Jake Cooper. Juicy. Cooper all day. P. O'Mara, Jake, Steve Lees, Cooper, Steve Young, Hooveld and Ward. No, you got just one name. Just one name from these three. Then I'm going to give you another 3 centre-backs. And then you... Now Adam Collins says, tough one between Ward and Cooper. Just bear that in mind. Mind you, this second section. So sometimes, just vote who you want to vote, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do next after. Big Bad Jake Broski says Graham White. No, you can't name two. So you just need to name one of these three. There's 2 centre-half positions to fill. So there's 3 to choose from and 3 to choose from. I haven't mentioned the second 3 yet. I've just mentioned the first 3. Okay? The first 3 to choose from are Ward, Cooper, Hooveld. Just vote for one of them. It's a convincing win. It's a landslide, in fact. As I suspected for Juicy, Jake, Cooper, Darren Wall gets 2 and Hooveld gets 1. Oh, no. Someone's put Cooper or Pure. Do you know what? That's not a bad shout. M. Treaders says Alex Pearce was a loanee, wasn't he? Was a loanee at Millwall. Okay, we'll stick Pearce in this side of the vote because what it was, I only had 2 for the second side of the vote. So I was going to give Ward or Cooper a double jeopardy second chance. That's going to happen again in the midfield because we've got some very good midfielders. Right. Okay. So the team so far is Bolkowski in goal, Glenn Johnson right back, Tony Craig left back, and centre half is Juicy Jake Cooper. All 6'7" of him gets in. Now he needs a central defence partner. I will show the board after every sort of positions filled, defences, midfield, attacks. Right. Now, first one up, we'll say, which M. Treaders correctly said, and escaped mine and the Alliance TV boys. Notice we was out for about 2 hours earlier on the group trying to get this these shortlists together. So Alex Pearce can be in this section. Obviously, Millwall current club captain. That was a weird one Saturday. I'm not going to go into Saturday's game because I've covered it in a post-match. But obviously, he was ineligible to play. No, why didn't he play Cooper? No, Pearce is a permanent player. So why was he ineligible to play against... Bennett was ineligible to play against Derby because he's on loan from them. Alex Pearce wasn't eligible to play because when Hutchinson looked like he was going to have to go off, Murray Wallace was going to go left back. But there you go. So, right, Alex Pearce, we'll put him in this side of the vote. So there's 3 more centre-backs to choose from, and he's going to be a partner with Jake Cooper. He's injured. Okay, fair enough. At the time, I thought, oh, he can't come on because I saw him on the touchline or somewhere around it. Right, anyway, forget that. Let's get back to this. Now, 2 of the best centre-halves we've ever had here are in this side of the vote. And this is going to be, if you thought it was difficult to choose between Cooper and Ward, you're going to find it even more difficult to choose between these next 2. Stuart Nethercott came to the club in 1998 and played 6 games on loan. He then signed permanently later that year and played for the club until 2004. Captained us, obviously, to the league title in 2001. He played 211 games, scoring 10 goals for the club. Right. Now, you're probably thinking that's a given. And it might be, but now I'm going to tell you, and I didn't actually remember this, that Mark Beavers came on loan from Sheffield Wednesday in 2012-2013. He played 16 times and then he scored 1 goal. He signed permanently later that year and he went on to play for us until 2016, scoring 7 goals in 117 games and, of course, famously in the playoff final 2015-16 that we lost to Barnsley. Sheffield Wednesday came from Beavers. Nethercott came from Spurs. And Alex Pearce. It's going to be a close one between them 2. Nethercott, Beavers, Pearce. Vote. Nethercott, Beavers, Pearce. Just one name. So thirsty. Daniel Willard. Daniel Winnell says, Captain Nevers, no doubt in it. Charlie Richardson, Nethercott, capital letters. Charlie Ruler, Alex Smithson, Nevers. Adam Collins, yet you said Shitu. And it was one I forgot to check earlier. I think he was a lone player as well. But Shitu got in the side last week as well. So he can have a rest this week. George Burgess, Beavers. Joe O'Mara, Beavers. A really long name that I can't say. Beavers. Andy East, Nevers. Adam Collins, Beavers. Paul Watson, Nevercott. Danny Chappell, Nevers. Beavers, Millwall Tube. Graham White, Nevers. I think as well, the sort of age you are could play a factor in this as well. But that looks like it's very close. That's why I was just gonna have them two and not Pearson. I was gonna give either Cooper or Ward a second chance, but we could have gone with Ward. We could have gone with Shitu, but we've gone with this, and it's very close. No, you can't go for Cooper here and Ward Cooper together, because otherwise, if everyone puts their own two, it just goes all. It's just too difficult to count the votes. Pierce 0, Nevercott 18, Beavers 10. No, Charlie Richardson says Hutch on loan. I checked this out. Hutchinson didn't come on loan. Come as a free agent. Good shout, Adam Collins, Tony Witter. But listen, Tony Witter weren't as good as Mark Beavers or Nevercott. So again, we could talk about it all day. But yeah, you're right, Adam Collins, and I didn't realise that until I researched that and did a show the other day that Witter originally came on loan before signing permanently for us. Someone's talking about Russians. Nevercott wins. Nevercott. Okay. Stuart Nevercott, yeah. I was going to give Shito a chance here, but there's no point. Right. Our back five is completed. This pen's dying on me. So that's it. Do you want to get a quick drink or whatever? Have a piss? Do what you need to do, and then we'll quickly look at this. Our back five so far. It's good. It's a good back five. Who have we got here? I can't see it when I turn it around. Bar Balkowski in goal. Millwall's current goalkeeper. Tony Cragen at left back. Jake Cooper and Stuart Nevercott. That's strong. And Glenn Johnson. Now, that's a good side. That is a very good side. That's where we are with it so far. We've gone 4 at the back. I was considering going 3 at the back because there's so many good players going forward. So many. And we're going to get onto them shortly. But we've had to go to. The left and right midfielders is actually frightening. Now, again, there's some players in here. Sometimes attacking players, a little bit like Jed. I know Jed plays on the right for us, but is he a right winger? Yeah, he is a right winger, yes. But there's been other wingers that have played for us, and they just sort of go where they like. So yeah, it's a very difficult one. And I know I'm going to say these 3 people, and someone's going to go, he wasn't a left winger. He was a right winger. He wasn't a right winger. He was a left winger. So just listen, it is what it is. And I put him in a position. So maybe I've done it for a reason at times. But this now gets so difficult and so interesting that I'm actually, I'm really, really looking forward to it. And we'll start out with George Burgess's comment, because he said Ben Marshall first season was very, very good. So don't vote yet. Let's just talk about the 3 that I've chose for left midfield. Now, Ben Marshall, look, left midfielder, but not only for us. He actually played right back for us at home to Aston Villa, I think, final game of the season when we won 1-0 or drew 0-0. Did we win 1-0? Can't remember now. A couple of seasons ago. He actually wasn't a left midfielder, but for us, he played left midfield, and he was absolutely brilliant the first season. Then we tried to... So it's like a Millwall loan syndrome. It happened with Huckabee. It happened with Wood. It happens a lot. It could happen with Malumbi, and it's happened with Ben Marshall. Brilliant first season. Oh, good. We'll sign you then, mate. No, I don't think so. I want to go to Norwich. It's going to pay me 20 grand a week more. So he then went to Norwich. Couldn't even get... He was training with the kids at one point. Didn't get a game. Couldn't get in. Obviously got some sort of attitude problem, which he didn't have in the first line spell with us. He scored some very important goals, didn't he, on that 17-game unbeaten run of the first season. Barnsley away, I remember. Bolton away, I remember. Great player. Brilliant for us. Like, exciting to watch. And then the second time when he came back, he just absolutely tossed it off, didn't he? Just was not interested. And he came back at a time, obviously, when we were struggling as well. So maybe that didn't help him, but heard all sorts of bad things about him, like at Millwall, saying to players, don't give me the ball, I'm pissed and all that in training. So, yeah. And as a result, now he's ended up in like a bit of a joke situation, I think, in non-league. So don't vote. Yeah, Oliver, you don't listen, not and you've put Pinch on. There is no one called Pinch on. I shouldn't have done. Yeah, no, don't vote yet. And I haven't seen anyone. Pat Flattery said, you definitely put weight on. Cheers, Pat. Thanks for that, mate. Constructive, helpful, hurtful. But I fucking haven't. I lost 3 ounces, you must know, prick. Anyway, So Ben Marshall's in the vote for his first spell at first loan spell with us. He hasn't got a prayer though. Let's be honest, because he's up against Andros Townsend for one. Still, Charlie said what I was thinking. Spurs, Andros Townsend, 2011, 11 games, 2 goals. Right now, I put him in left midfield. As far as I'm considering, he's a left midfielder. Along with him, on loan from Southampton, Jason Punchin. 7 games for us in 2011, 2012, scoring 5 goals. Of course, a hat-trick against Crystal Palace, a team we go on to later play for. Now, it's a 3-way vote. I think it's going to be a 2-way thing. So for the 2 that don't make it, for the 2 I'm not expecting, the 2 I'm expecting to go miles out in front here, I'm going to give one of them a double jeopardy chance to play on the right wing as well, because they can play right wing. But for now, left wing, Ben Marshall, Andros Townsend, Jason Punchin. Vote. And if people are putting names in the comments that I haven't said, they was considered, but you've got to be good at getting there left midfield. You've got to be good. And no one's voting, which makes me worry. Oh, here you go. I thought the fucking Wi-Fi had gone. Ben Marshall, Andros Townsend, Jason Punchin, left midfield, vote. Jason the Wizard, says Graham White. Paul Lyons says, has to be Punchin. Steve Lees, Townsend. George Burgess, Townsend. Charlie Richardson, get your pinch on Punchin. Derry Douglas, Jason Punchin. John Triers, is that right, John? John Triers, Punchin. Adam Collins, Marshall, Millwall Tube Marshall. Wow. Not that Millwall Tube said wow. But the fact that Adam Collins is, and he's been watching Millwall for a long, long time, so he says, he's to praise the Marshall for being good. He was good. Pat Flattery says the punch for me. Marshall played better for us and longer than any others, in my opinion. That's your right. If that's the way you want to interpret the question, mate, then that's absolutely fair enough. That we did have that same discussion earlier on with the boys. Online TV group chat, Peter O'Mara comes in and buries me and said Townsend was left midfield, Punchin was right. The day Punchin scored a hat-trick, Pete, I'm pretty sure every single goal was scored from the left. But sometimes, if we've got 2 very strong players in the same position, they'll get a double jeopardy chance to play in a different position. So, Billy Salt says Punch was a player proper, bruv. He didn't say bruv, I added the bruv on. Punch can play both wings. This is why Punchin could get a double opportunity. And also, as I said to the boys on Lions TV, which Charlie Richardson correctly says, Punchin played in the 10 role later in his career, which he did, yeah. Someone's just put Townsend, Wallace, Punchin. I don't know what that means. One name, one vote. Marshall, Townsend, or Punchin. Steve Lees will be counting the votes as we speak on his fingers, or possibly with a pen and paper. Few for Marshall there. I think we can say, look, and this is what I have done. Another way to look at it. Andros Townsend only ever played 11 games, scored 2 goals. Jason Punchin only ever played 7 games for us, scored 5. But Ben Marshall, if you go solely on his first loan spell, which I've killed myself, I haven't got the stats for offhand, and went on to be come back again. No, look, M Treaders, mate. You got to get with the script here, mate. You've come in with Saville. Saville's not a left midfielder. Wait, bide your time. Charlie Richardson correctly says that he walked into a flying team as well. So you are correct. Right. Okay. How are we doing on the votes? Is anyone Punchin is winning so far? Pat Flattery says, are we voting how they played for us or when they went on careers and actually got better? You can interpret this question any way you want. You can do how well they perform for us on loan, just on loan. If they sign for us permanently and then we shit, then you can judge it on that if you want. You can judge it if they had 2 loan spells for us like Marshall did, good at one, shit at another. If they went on to be brilliant players like Glenn Johnson did, interpret how they played for us or how good they went on to be in their career. You can interpret the question any way you like. But Steve Lees informs me that Jason Punchin has got in on the left midfield. I think for his hat-trick against Palace, he was absolutely electric that day. And by the way, there was all good goals. They weren't no He weren't no joke. The guy, was he? There was actually talk of us re-signing him in was it last summer or the summer before? And he did he end up going to Greece or something? Something fucking weird. Anyway, right now, Andros Townsend was good. So Andros Townsend is going to get double jeopardy. He now can go in at right midfield, but he's joining. Wow, this is going to be very difficult. The most difficult decisions. The defence is easy-ish. Midfield is harder. Right midfield especially so. But the forwards are just ridiculous. And I've in fact broke the strikers of 6 into 3 different sections because we're going to go 3. Oh, hang on. We're going to go 3 up. Oh, we might not go 3 up front. Okay. I'll give you the chance to change the formation later on. I'll like make this up as I go. I think I've got it all sussed. I think I've got all the notes. I think I'm running a tight ship. And then I've just realised I've completely fucked myself. So we'll just have a laugh over. Just go with it. We see what we want to do. We want to change formation at the end. We can. Right midfielders. Andros Townsend gets double jeopardy. Second chance to switch wings and play on the right. He is joined by James Henry. Came on loan from Reading in 2009. Played 16 games, scoring 3 goals. He come back again in 2009. He scored another 9 games and he scored 5 goals. He then, of course, joined permanently in 2010, playing 121 games and 10 goals. Don't vote yet, please. The third player in this trilogy of very talented players. You're probably thinking James Henry's won this, but you may or may not remember. You should remember because it's very recent history, Millwall history. On loan from Wolves in 2016, Jed Wallace arrived, played 12 games, scored 1 goal. In 2017, he came back for the playoff push, didn't he? And missed a series at Wembley. I remember that, Jed. 16 games, 3 goals. He, of course, joined permanently in 2017. He currently sits on 120 appearances and 21 goals. He is Millwall's main man. Allegedly, I want to ask questions about that free kick. He had that wide that was sticking in the box and he just kicks it straight at the first player. Schoolboy stuff at times, but other times, absolutely brilliant. Charlie Richardson's fanboy of Jed Fernley Wallace. You can vote. Jed Wallace, Andros Townsend, James Henry. 1 name, 1 vote. Shoot. And I think we all know what it's going to be. Joe O'Mara's gone with Henry. Interesting. I'm not disagreeing at all, Joe, by the way. Steve Young, Andros Townsend. Alex Smithson, Jed. Paul Lyons, Henry. B. Lyon, Wallace. John Robertson, Henry. James Henry says that ridiculously long YouTube name that I can't say. It's just a load of letters and numbers. So someone's fell asleep on a keyboard that. So it's almost like a Wi-Fi code. It's that long. Jed Villar. Charlie said Jed Villar. So yeah, sorry, it's for his other Charlie. Jed always. Jedley upon Thames. Peter Morris says, Connor says Jed. Well, you're watching this on the same box. Paul Watson, Henry, unbelievably technically. I'm going to agree with that. And when Joe said James Henry, I think James Henry's Jed's more exciting. Jed can do outrageous things at times, but he's crossing and passing at times. Very Waynwood, honestly, that's what I think. And Harry Lavelle Baker, the actor, said, the dawn of the Jed. Wow. Henry's final ball's better, says Stuart Fern. Yeah, I agree, but Jed can do things that not many others ever could at Millwall. The Cardiff free kick, the Swansea free kick. Pardon me. Charlie Richardson says, I hate everyone that didn't vote for Jed. I think Steve Lees will confirm that, Joe says Henry's crossing and set plays a lot better than Jed's. I agree. But Jed, early this season, on his day, just an outrageous match winner. Jed plays like a 7-year-old kid. He plays how football should be played. Like, when you're a kid and there's one kid at school and he just does what he wants. He takes on who he wants. He don't care who's watching. He just wants to do tricks and step overs, and he's very flexible, Jed. He's a flexible friend. And he's won it. And there are a lot of votes there as well. A lot of votes. There was 23 for Jed and 13 for Henry, which is 46. I'm not a mathematician. Jed and Henry not in the same class as Townsend, says Steve Young. Right. Unsurprisingly, his fucking pen. Don't die on me, please. Jed Wallace. Sounds like I'm strangling a mouse. Jed Wallace goes to right midfield. And I'm just looking there. Johnson right back, Jed right mid. Imagine them two on a combo. It's a little bit similar to Marlon, isn't it? But obviously Glenn Johnson was better than Marlon. Right. Central midfield. I don't know what we're going to do here. We'll do a 4-4-2, and if we want to switch it out, like we did last week, once we've done our 4-4-2, if we want to add a third striker in, which I'm pretty sure you'll want to, then we'll have to get a midfielder out. Yeah, we'll do it that way round. Okay. Central midfielders. I've gone with current midfield loanee, Jason Malumbi. Don't vote yet. I'm going to tell you the three are. The first three. I've gone with George Saville, of course. Came on loan to Millwall from Chelsea. Went away, come back, joined permanently. I think he might have even had 2 loan spells, if I remember rightly. I didn't get stats for Saville. I added him in last minute. And thirdly, Liam Trotter. We got Liam Trotter on loan from Ipswich in 2006. And this is another one I didn't remember. He only played twice for us. And then 4 years later, in 2010, he came back, playing 23 games and scoring 1 goal. He then signed for us permanently until 2014, scoring 125 goals before he was sold to Bolton. But yeah, Liam Trotter, 2 games for us on loan in 2006. And then comes back 4 years later and has a successful loan spell. Maybe he was a bit too young then. So that just, I don't know, that doesn't confuse me. It doesn't excite me. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm thinking, well, maybe he had some sort of, maybe he must have some sort of connection with Millwall or Millwall must have been watching him from 2006 to play 2 games and then come back 4 years later. Steve Lees lets me know, my main man, my assistant, Steve Lee, says Saville played 63 times for us and scored 10. Trotter got 100 odd goals. Did I say it wrong? I said 125 games, 22 goals. I might have said it wrong. Sorry. So, your first central midfield. It's just we're in central midfield. We're talking loanees. Derry Douglas just comments and puts Danny Dicho, the Italian Mickey Quinn. This is why you got to love the randomness. Jermaine Wright wasn't a loanee, was he? He came through the youth system at Millwall. Did he leave and then come back? Anyway, we're on central midfielders. I'm going to tell you to vote, and I'm going to give you 3 names, and I want you to vote 1 name and 1 name only. George Saville, Jason Malumbi, Liam Trotter. Vote. M. Treaders comes in and says, Kane striker, no question. Treaders, chill out, bruv. Chill. Just chill, relax, pick a midfield up. We'll get onto the strikers in a bit. George Saville, Jason Malumbi, Liam Trotter. Just the surname will do. You can put their full name in if you want. Oliver Small comes in. Who was the lone centre middle from Birmingham? You don't listen, mate, do you? Come on, listen. Just pick a name. One of the 3 names. They're the shortlist 3. Just pick a name and vote for it. It's not a difficult instruction. P.O. Morris says Trotter. Trotter was a Joe Morris says Trotter. That could be a little bit of an O'Mara thing where you'd sort of, yeah, Dad, Trotter's good sort of thing. I used to rate every player my dad used to rate when I was obviously younger. Liam Trotter, unbelievable player before he couldn't be bothered. Says Josh Stroud. A lot of people voting for Trotter here. And Saville, Alex Smithson Saville, Charlie Richardson Saville, Mick Robinson Saville, Andy East, Saville the money grabber. Graham White says Jace the Irish boy. He's keeping it in the Irish family there. White, ain't you legend? Harry Lavelle Baker, the actor, says Trotter. Kenny Rick says Saville, and I'd like him back, to be honest. Pete O'Mara said Kieran Trotter. I think you mean Kieran says Trotter. John Triers says Saville. Daniel Young Saville. Harry Lavelle Baker. Tough one. Yeah, and they just get harder and harder now, mate. I think it's close. That's going to be close between Trotter and Saville. But listen, this is the exciting thing of the show. It can be not so close. Steve Lees, 8 for Trotter, loads for Saville. Yeah, it was a very quiet... Someone just put jacket. Oh, fucking hell. I'll have some of whatever Oliver's on because he don't listen to the guy. Stuart Fern says... Trotter is such a waste of talent. A very acquired taste, Trotter. And funny enough, but nothing even to do with this video. I think we was having a chat the other week in the Lions TV WhatsApp group. I don't want to go on about that because you're not in it, and you probably think, why you keep telling us about it, mate? But Pete says he was powerful and pacey. I just got the feeling that he was quite lethargic when he ran, and sometimes he just looked. It's not that he couldn't be bothered. He used to run similar to like Aidan O'Brien runs. You know, you think they're not really running hard, but actually, it just doesn't look that way. But Steve Lees, my wingman, tells me that George Saville has made this fucking pen ain't gonna. This pen won't make the 11. I tell you, Jesus Christ! Right, it's still come out. Saville, right. I wonder if that pen would work. Anyway, George Saville's made it. Okay. Now, did I? Right. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do there. Right. Who was the other? Sorry. I forgot I was even filming them. Fucking, I was well away. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give Trotter a double jeopardy second chance. We're also going to give Andros Townsend a double jeopardy second chance for this second, because the other two here, they're all right, but they ain't setting the world alight, if I'm honest. So we'll stick Townsend because he could play central. Maybe not so much for us, but he could play, he's sort of the main man for Palace for years, so still is. So Townsend could play central if we need him to. And we'll give Liam Trotter a second chance because he had a lot of interest there in that vote. They are joined by Jamie O'Hara, Spurs, 2007. Don't vote yet. 14 games, 2 goals for me. Again, went on to be a very good player. And I've thrown this one in for a curveball. Diego Fabrini from Watford in 2015. 12 games and 1 goal for us. The boys earlier on were saying he done things that, unbelievable things, flip-flaps a lot. Still playing in Russia, actually. Moscow, Sofia or something like that. So 4 names for this final central midfield role. Jamie O'Hara, Diego Fabrini, Andros Townsend, Liam Trotter. Just 1 name. Vote. Ryan Mason didn't make the cut. Vote. Trotter, Townsend, Fabrini, O'Hara. 1 name. We've had a double jeopardy before on the channel. I don't think we've ever had a triple. So Steve Lees, when you count Pete O'Mara, you can count 3 for Trotter there, yeah. Fabrini, Fab, Townsend, O'Hara, Townsend, Fabrini. This is Kenny Ricks. It's going to be close, that, between Townsend. Other players, I can't remember. Richard Chaplow, he was a lone player, but he's not in the same league as those players I just mentioned. Cheers, Steve. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm pretty confident that one of these midfielders is going to get bombed anyway, because when we get to the forwards, this is just where it gets ridiculously tough. Ridiculously tough. Yeah. Ridiculously tough. This is a close call as well between Townsend and Trotter. Graham White, Del Boy. Andy East, Townsend. Harry Lavell's in again with Trotter. Richard Chaplow. Adam Collins, Trotter. Derry Douglas, O'Hara. Yeah, I thought O'Hara might get a few more votes there. I think because he can come across as a bit of just a donut in general. I think people probably haven't voted for him, but I thought he was a good player. Stuart Ferd, I was just about to say that as well. If that's fine. That's, you want to tell me now that that's what you would have chosen. It's difficult. I understand that sometimes I don't know what sections to put each one in. So you might have seen 2 players in one section that you thought should have been in both sections, but we'll just be here all night doing it that way. We've been going nearly an hour already and we ain't got to strikers yet, or a manager, or the opportunity to switch the formation. So this could be a long one. Could be a long one. So there's a lot of votes going in here. I don't think we've ever had this many people vote before. It says there's only 49 people online, but I reckon we've had near enough everyone there. Well, I suppose if you're watching, you're going to vote. Otherwise, there's no point. Steve Lee says 13 Townsend, 11 Trotter. Please only vote once as well. Well done, Steve. Thank you, mate. No problem. And that's it. Confirmed. Andros Townsend makes it. Right. I can already see what I want to do here, but it's not down to me. Oh, come on. Sorry. What a time for you. Can you sharpen it? Sharpen dark. Others somewhere. Right. I can't get up either. I've only got pants on. Oh, fuck me. Poxy sharp. This is what you get at Lions TV. It's all on a budget here. Right. Charlie Richard says, Townsend centre mid. Well, he can be like the attacking in behind floater man, shall we say. That's the team so far. Where is it? There you go. Who is it? It is Bart Bolkowski in goal. Why do I always do this? Tony Craig left back. Glenn Johnson right back. Nethercott and Jake Cooper. Then you got Jed on the right, George Saville and Andros Townsend in the middle, or Puncheon on the left. You could put Puncheon central and Townsend left, whatever. But there you go. That is our team so far. Now, you will notice that is 4 at the back, 4 in midfield, and 1 in goal, obviously. That makes that 9 players. Yeah, I will do it on a piece of paper. I've got a pad here. Now that makes that 9 players. Now we have a problem. And the problem is as follows. And do not, please listen to what I'm telling you. Do not vote yet. Do not vote. Please, do not vote for strikers. Charlie Richardson says non-debatable. Well, Charlie, when I tell you this, 6 strikers are in the shortlist, please don't vote. I'm going to tell everyone the 6 strikers right now, but do not vote yet because I want to have a chat about them. 6 strikers that are split into 3 sections of 2. I'm not going to tell you what the sections are yet, but the strikers, Darren Huckabee, Steve Claridge, Dion Dublin, Chris Wood, Harry Kane, Steve Morrison. Good luck sorting that lot out. So let's go to do not vote yet. Do not vote yet. Right. Section 1. Again, I've split these into sections as fair as I can. As fair as I can. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very fucking difficult. I couldn't pick a 3 out of this. Right. Now, again, I think eras could play a part here. In section 1, so there's 6 strikers. So we're going to choose 3 strikers. Then, once we've chosen them 3 strikers, I'm going to give you the opportunity to keep 3 up front and sack a midfielder off, or stay with 2 up front and the 4 that's in midfield. Looking at that, I've got half an idea who could get dinged out as well. But again, that's your decision. It's not mine. Section 1, I'm going to give you 2 strikers. Don't vote yet. The first striker I'm going to talk to you about, don't vote yet, is Darren Huckabee. Darren Huckabee started his career at Lincoln, got sold to Newcastle. He came to Millwall on loan in 1996, and he was the greatest, probably the greatest player I've ever seen in a Millwall shirt. I could not believe what I was watching. The standard he was at, how far better he was than everyone else was an absolute joke. Now, Wikipedia says he only played 6 times, scoring 3 goals. I remember once he ran through literally from a left-back position through the entire team, and I think he actually missed, or the keeper saved it. He was next level, ridiculously good. Next level, unbelievable for me, Darren Huckabee. I'm not trying to influence your vote, but if you don't remember back that far, he was the fucking governor. But again, listen, he only played 6 times. Don't vote yet. Scoring 3 goals. Now, obviously, he came in under Jimmy Nicholl. And a little story that my dad used to tell me, it's always stuck with me. He said, after Jimmy Nicholl left and whatever, apparently, that we had the opportunity to get him first off. And Jimmy Nicholl said, no, don't worry, I'm bringing this geezer down from up north called Jason Dare and all these boys from Scotland, and they're better than him. And then when it started going tits up for Nicholl, we then went and got Huckabee on loan. And the classic Millwall curse of the loan syndrome, whatever you want to call it, done brilliant for us. We went to buy him. Looked like it was going to be our biggest signing ever. Everyone was excited. He ended up going to Coventry instead because obviously they paid more money and more wages. And he went to Coventry, played 94 times, scoring 28 goals, and then got sold to Leeds. So very good career. Now, you're saying Darren Huckabee, you're probably thinking it's not even going to be a debate. But when I tell you he's up against a loanee that came to us in 2001 and scored 3 goals in 6 games to get us over the line to get promoted and then come back as a permanent player from 2001 to 2003, playing 85 games, scoring 26 goals. A little-known man called Steve Claridge, who in his career, by the way, played 829 games, scoring 256 goals. You've got to make a choice right now between Darren Huckabee and Steve Claridge. Vote. That is fucking tough. That is so tough. Have I sent you all to sleep here? I've been talking so long. Claridge. Wow. Fucking hell. What? So I'm watching the comments go. I've not got something on the telly. There went 12 votes for Claridge there before Huckabee got 1. Now again, listen, different ways you want to interpret it. You could argue, and maybe that's the teenage me remembering back to how good he was. It could be a little bit of a warped memory, shall we say. But yeah, Steve Claridge, listen, went on to be a permanent player for the club. Matched Darren Huckabee, funny enough. Both played 6 games on loan, both scored 3 goals on loan. But obviously, Claridge becomes something of a short-term legend. Maybe I shouldn't have dismissed Claridge there. Scored goals for us in the Championship. Done the business. Andy says, still not listening. I don't know if that's aimed at me or someone else. Claridge. Kieran, don't know. Oh, fuck. Just pop the lid. It's a very difficult decision, that one. Sorry, I just flipped the lid off the only existing pen that's still working, and if that one breaks, then we are knackered. Right, I'm going to take that out there for a minute. I can write the actual thing because that's not going to work. Right. Are we voting? Huckabee was brilliant. Claridge was a journeyman. Yes, I mean, look, who was a better player, would you argue? Who had a better career? Who did better for us? Who did you just like more? It's a million different ways to interpret that question. So I'm just rewriting the actual team in the pad. Steve Lees. Oh, is it? No, I don't know if you got in on him. I don't think he is a West Ham fan, Charles, to be honest. I think he's watching from South Sudan. I don't know what he's doing. Just don't think he knows what's going on, really. Okay. Kieran too young for both. I don't remember Claridge. Tony Warner was Kieran's favourite player. So he must remember Claridge same time. Well, he won't remember much of the last 2 seasons' players, because his missus don't let him go no more. He used to be an away veteran with me. Right, Steve Lees, I think you're going to tell me that comprehensively Steve Claridge has done Darren Huckabee. Stick Nevers in goal and play 3 up top. Right, Steve, are you there on the comments? Oh, here you go. 20 votes to 7 in favour of Steve Claridge. Wow. Right, next up are 2 players. The first one, don't vote yet. Please don't vote yet. I'm going to tell you the 2 players. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. I remembered Dion Dublin playing more games, I thought, for us than 5 games, scoring 2 goals, one at Birmingham away, I remember well. 2002, Dion Dublin come to us, brilliant for us. Again, only played 5 games. He's up against a man I went to Brighton away in midweek one season. Well, tell you what season it was, because when he played, 2012. And my mate's dad's got like a building company, and he had some clients down that way. We had hospitality in the Brighton bit. And it's like, well, if we score, like, don't cheer if we score, whatever, because we're with this geezer who's his business partner. And Chris Wood stuck one on the stanchion, and we've jumped up. And the steward comes over and says, "You Millwall fans, don't jump up again if you score again." Then Chris Wood sticks another one on the stanchion. So Chris Wood came on loan from us to West Brom in 2012. He played 19 games, scoring 11 goals, just like Darren Huckabee, and just like what might happen with Jason Malumbi, and just like what's happened with a lot of players before. Leicester come in and gazumped us and bought him instead, and we didn't get him. So the next two strikers to choose from is Dion Dublin and Chris Wood. One name. Vote. Just the one name, please. Right. There we go. There we go. I haven't even looked. Dublin, Wood. John Robertson, Wood. Alex Smithson, Dublin. Bill Salt, Wood. Dean Turner, Woods. Daniel Young, Wood. Beeline, Dublin. Dublin all day long, Dan, says Sean Regan. I mean, Woods is still playing. They both had very good careers. If I had to say who was a better player, I don't like Dion Dublin, but Chris Wood was. Josh Strode says Chris Wood by default, too young to see Dion Dublin. Fair enough. Wood. 17-7 to Wood. Right. Well, if you think you've had to make decisions yet, the next one, you probably guess what's got to go on, but it's going to have to happen. Right. Okay. So, we've got two players left. Thanks for joining us, by the way. We're nearly an hour and 10 minutes in. It's been enjoyable. I do enjoy these, I must admit. That's why I'm trying to keep them going. I try and do one Lions Lounge a week and one of these a week, even if we've got midweek games. And then in the summer, I'll try and bring them back even more so because people do enjoy these. And it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest stuff you'll ever lose. It's like pen and paper and that, but they're all right. I like them, and I hope you enjoy them as well. Thanks for tuning in. Right, the last decision you've got to make, and I've left this one to last on purpose. Claridge Wood, but I agree with that. I'm just looking at that, but I agree with it. I think I'd have to have Huckabee in there somewhere. But anyway, but then again, he only played 5 games. Adam Collins makes a very valid point, and he says, "You are a man of you're a man of fact, aren't you? You're not you always go with your head, Adam. You don't go with your heart." You said, "Wood, more games, more goals," and that is, there you go, 19 games and 11 goals. That is a fucking very, very strong return. That is a very strong return. Now, the last decision you've got to make in right, there you go. B Lions commented already, and I'm thinking, I haven't even said it yet. B Lions comment is, my head says Kane, but my heart says Steve Morrison. There you go. Vote Steve Morrison or Harry Kane. Harry Kane, 2012, 22 appearances for the Lions, scoring 7 goals. Of course, he is now Harry Kane, MBE, England captain, world beater, but obviously wasn't for us. Steve Morrison, obviously Kane, we got him from Stevenage, 2009 to 2011, scored 83 goals. Sorry, played 83 games, scored 35 goals. He then came back on loan from Leeds, I believe, 2013 to 14, playing 41 games, scoring 8 goals. Didn't really work out for him, but when he returned in 2015, he left in 2019 as a regular player, a permanent fixture at the club. 169 games, 32 goals, Millwall legend, 3rd all-time top goal scorer behind Teddy Sheringham and Neil Bomber Harris. Harry Kane, Steve Morrison, vote. One 0 Spurs. Oh shit, where Spurs are playing West Ham. Of course they are. Steve Lees Morrison, Harry Lavelle Baker, the actor, Kane, Gary Douglas, Steve Morrison, Pete O'Mara, Morrow. I mean, look, again, interpret it any way you want. It's up to you. It's a hard one, broski, says Graham White, and you are correct. However, like Stuart Fern says, Morrison, miserable fucker. If you want to think he's miserable, if you want to incorporate into your thought process that Morrison's miserable, then fine, do that. But I would be thinking, I don't know how I would think this actually. My heart would say Morrow, and he had more of an effect for the club. But Harry Kane is the player he is. So wow, King FIFA streamer, weird. Interpret it any way you want. Who went on to be the better player? Who did more for Millwall? Who you like more personally? Harry Kane's a bit of a, I'm not going to say it, but he's not the most intelligent, I don't think, is he? Steve Morrison, Millwall legend, miserable. Does it matter? Wouldn't even argue. Wouldn't even care. Charlie Richardson says Kane's goals kept us up. Steve Morrison goals have sent us up on more than one occasion. Playoffs, Huddersfield, playoff final, Bradford, playoff Swindon. Joe Vine argues the point and says Dublin, Wood, Claridge, Huckabee were all better than Morrison and Kane whilst on loan. You could look again. It's right what you're saying, Joe. It's a way to look at it. Is when Morrow came for that season back, he didn't really seem that invested in it, did he? Well, he was. I think he only scored. I said I've screwed up notes down, throwing them as you've seen. I think he scored like 6 goals or 8 goals in 46 games. Not the return you're used to getting from a Steve Morrison season at Millwall, but you could take into consideration, how good he was for us on loan that season. Not very, but obviously his other time at the club could help sway your decision. Yeah, Charlie Richardson said it's a loan, so I'm thinking of how they did on loan. Yeah, not what they've done since in their career. That's true, but we also want to try and pick the best loan team possible. So, if I had to put a loan side out tomorrow of our best, I'd probably think of it, if I've got to put a loan team out tomorrow, the players at their best ever, who would it be? 12-6 tomorrow. That's funny because earlier on we had 40 votes. So we've had less than half the votes on this section. So if you already voted, don't vote again. If you haven't voted already, you've got to vote between Harry Kane and Steve Morrison. It's your vote. It's your choice. I'm just a voice, putting it all out there. Steve Lee says, Dan, check McGinley's stats for us on Wiki. I know what his stats are because I'm currently trying to get in touch with John McGinley to get him on Lions Lounge. I passed on Kenny Cunningham's number to the boys under the cosh in exchange for a swap deal for John McGinley's number. John McGinley did well for us, actually. And Malcolm Allen said he was a real character, so I'm trying to get him on the show. He scored 27 goals in 52 games. He's supposed to be a real good character as well. So if I can get him on, I will. That would be good. Alex Smith says Dicchio's loan stats were good for us. Yes, they was, but I decided to not put him in. I've had to choose 6, and they're the 6 I've chosen, and I think 6 very good strikers. Steve, is it still 12-6? Is it still 12-6? Kim, every week someone says Kim Grant on something. I don't know if it's the same person that's saying it. Right. Okay. So we've got our team, 12-7. Well, Morrison's in. So what I can tell you is, Graham White says, who'd you leave out, Dansky Broski? I haven't left anyone yet because I'm going to show you something. This is the rewritten because the Sharpie things collapsed. There. Bart Bolkowski in goal. Johnson right back. Nevercott and... Why can't I see this? Cooper, centre half. Tony Craig, left back. Jason Punchin, left mid. George Saville and Andros Townsend, central mid. Jed Wallace, right. And then up front, Steve Claridge, Steve Morrison, and Chris Wood. What can you tell me about that team? Hang on. Yeah. What can you tell me about that team? Well, I lost my head then. There's too many players in it. It's too many players. It's 12 players. We've got to lose someone. Right. So now we're going to have to vote. Exactly. John Robertson, too many. There's 12, yeah? I know. One too many players in the vote. So now, this is what we're going to have to do. I'll tell you how we'll do this. Right. Just look at that for a second. Think of a player you take out. Don't say his name. Right? Just think of a player you take out of that entire team. Just one player. Can be a defender, can be a midfielder, or it can be a striker. Can you see that properly? Yeah, there you go. It's better. Right. And what I want you to do now is vote. And I want you to vote for where you'd like to take someone out from. Don't say a player's name. Say either defence, midfield, strikers. For the player's position you want to take out. There you go. Whatever area of the pitch your person you want to take out plays in, put it in. Defender, striker, attack, vote. No, don't say the names. Just that's it. Defender, striker, attack. For a player you'd like to lose out of that team, wherever they are, whether they're here. If they're here, then put defender. If they're here, put midfielder. If they're here, put striker. And the most votes is where we'll take it from. It's the only fair way to do it. Is that the only way? Yeah, it's the only fair way to do it, really. Adam Collins says we should just play the team and hope no one notices. Right, so Steve will count them, and it'll be defence, midfield, or strikers. I would take out of there. If it was me personally, I'd take out a midfielder. But it's not up to me. It's your vote. Steve Lee's midfielder. Josh Stroud, midfielder. B. Line said Townsend, two in the winger side. You mean midfield. Joseph Sardena, midfield. Sean Regan, defender. Graham White, middle of the park. B. Line, midfielder. Defender, Stuart Fern. Daniel Young, defence. Steve Lees says 13 midfielders. Now, I'm pleased that's gone like that because I agree. Because I think you've got Jed. I think other than Saville, I'd say other than Saville in that midfield, the other three can play pretty much anywhere in that midfield. And that excites me. So now you've got to vote. What you're going to have to do now, how can you have one in... Now, Harry said, how can you have one in centre midfield? Now, what you've got to remember is this isn't real. They've all retired. Some of them still play. Some of them have retired. I've not got a match booked in for them. It's just theoretical. It's just a bit of fun. So someone said to me the other day when I said I'd done a 90s thing, and they went, so-and-so didn't... You can't have him holding midfield with the other geezer. It's too attacking. This team isn't going to play. It's not ever going to play together. Some of them are retired. Some of them don't play for Millwall anymore. Some of them don't play for Millwall at all. So I want you all to vote for one midfielder that you want to remove. One name. Jed Wallace, Andros Townsend, George Saville, Jason Punchin. Vote. One name you want to get out. Get rid of Saville. Sav the dummy. Graham White's saying that because he's probably because he's Northern Irish Saville. Is that what he's saying? Townsend to go. Townsend to go. Townsend to go. Punchin. Townsend. Breaking news. Rowett has resigned. Jed Wallace. Saville. Townsend. Saville. Townsend. Okay. While you're debating that, while this debacle goes on, I've got to rewrite the team again, haven't I? You know, gone through some trees have suffered tonight in the making of this video. I've got to tell you that much. I'm going to try and write quick and try and write neat still. So Conor O'Mara don't get the ump on my handwriting. Nevers. Johnson. Oh, no, fuck me. Don't put him in. Sorry. I think I've just wrote in. I've done it wrong again. It's going to be close between Townsend and Saville. I can see that from the votes. And Steve Lees is going to count them for me. He's a legend. And he's going to count them up. And he's going to tell me the result. And then I'm going to reveal the result. Steve, you there? No more trees. Save the trees. Yeah. Sorry about that. Right, so we know we've gone 3 up front, didn't we? I've got a fan on me. The paper's blowing everywhere, by the way. It's been a warm one today, though, everyone, isn't it? Right, so Jed's definitely in the team. We know that much. I'd say Punchin's definitely in the team. And then we've got our 3 strikers of Claridge, Morrison, and Wood. Lovely. Steve Lees. 16 Townsend to 7 George Savills. Wow. Okay. Listen, it's your show, everyone. You vote. I personally probably would have put Punchin central. Or would I? I don't know. Saville went on to be a good player for us, didn't he? I'm happy with that, yeah. Right. That's it. Why is so much going with Adam Collins, Malumbu? I don't know why I'm throwing that over there. I've got to pick up myself and live my own. Right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is... So I was going to say your pre-match prediction then. No, this is your best ever Millwall lone 11. Bart Bolkowski in goal. Adam Johnson, right back. Stuart Nethercott and Jake Cooper, central defence. Tony Craig, left back. Jason Punchin in front of him on left mid. Left central mid. George Saville, central mid. Jeb Wallace, right of central. With Chris Wood, Steve Morrison and Steve Claridge up front. Yes, it's very attacking. But the idea is to get the best loans into that team. If they play the game, they probably win 50-0 or lose 50-0. Because it's very, very attacking. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Bart on the back 4. But Johnson likes to bomb on as well. Maybe Tony Craig could tuck in as a third centre back if Johnson does bomb on. But yeah, that's it. That's your team. Hope you like it. You should like it because you chose it. Did I just say Adam Johnson? Did I? No, I didn't. Did I? Did I say Adam Johnson? Glenn. Anyway, right. Manager should be Harry Lavelle Baker. You're an absolute mind-reading legend. Because we always pick a team and a manager. Who was our last manager? Can't remember. Best ever teams manager was John Docherty. Worst ever teams manager was Steve Lomas, got voted in. The 4-11 manager was Kenny Jackett because he brought most of those players in. Now, this team needs a manager, and Harry Lavelle Baker said exactly what I was thinking. Because it's a lone team, we should have an interim manager. An interim manager who wasn't a permanent manager for us. Ones I can think of, someone says Dave Tuttle. Another one I can think of, and he popped up a lot in the lockdown videos. I've now forgotten his fucking name. Bob Pearson. Neil Harris was an interim manager. Pete, you're right. He got the job to the end of the season, didn't he? Harris. Bob Pearson was a scout for Millwall, but he managed when John Docherty got sacked before Bruce Rioch came in. Bob Pearson stepped up from coaching and it's like held it together, steadied the ship apparently. But yeah, Pete's right and Stuart Fern's correct. Says it's got to be Neil Harris, isn't it? It has to be Neil Harris. He was an interim manager, and that's sort of gone with the theme of this team really a little bit because some people will see that and go, "Oh, hang on, well they're permanent players." Well, yes, but because they did well on loan, they did well on trial, they did well as Neil Harris did as an interim manager, then they end up making the best team. You ain't going to pick players that did shit. This is the best lone 11. So we'll say Neil Harris's stint as interim manager, taken over from Ian Holloway when he was already pretty much relegated before he got given a job permanently and then took us back. Playoffs first year, lost to Barnsley. Second time of asking, return with a wonder win against Bradford. Neil Harris is going to be the manager. There you go. Sometimes we do subs. Alex Smithson. Didn't John Docherty do an interim stint? He did. He did. He came back in 90. I actually got this wrong on my Lions Lounge. And Adam Collins, it wasn't you that pulled me up in the comments about it, actually, for once. John Docherty came back after Jimmy Nicholl. I thought John Docherty came back after Mick McCarthy, then John Docherty, then Jimmy Nicholl, but I think I got it wrong. Big Mick was interim too, yeah, so I think I got that wrong in my Lions Lounge, which is bad on me, but there you go. There's been a lot of Lions Lounges flying around. So I think it was Mick McCarthy, Jimmy Nicholl, and I think after Jimmy Nicholl is when Docherty come back in. Is that right? Can anyone remember that or confirm it? I do a lot of research. There's a lot of Lions Lounges. Sometimes, I will get it wrong. But there you go. It's not always why we watch this show, is it? I'm hoping it's a little bit entertaining. More entertainment purposes. I hope that's killed fucking hell, an hour and 25 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it. We usually do subs. I don't think we'll do subs tonight. I think Huckabee will make the bench. I think Townsend will make the bench. I think Darren Ward will make the bench. But I've run out of room on the paper. So one last time, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. There is your best Millwall ever, Lone 11. And as I said, I usually say you can't do pre-1985 because I didn't see it and I can't comment and put people on my shortlist that I never saw play. And last week we had a wild card, which was Eamon Dunphy. He got in. There was no wild card this week because there was no nominations, I don't think, for players. Best end or side of ground next. I'm not sure. I can't process that in a minute, mate. So I was just saying that and that came in. It just thrown me. So there you go. Yeah. That's our best ever Lone 11. And I'm happy with that. Bart Bolkowski in goal. I'll tell you one more time. Tony Craig left back. Jake Cooper and Stuart Nethercott, central defenders. There's 3 Millwall legends right there. Glenn Johnson, right back, not Adam. Jed Wallace, George Saville and Jason Punch in a very attacking, very exciting midfield behind 3 brilliant strikers for Millwall. Chris Wood, great lone striker for us. Steve Morrison, twice a permanent fixture and a lone striker for us. Steve Claridge, 1 lone spell, followed directly by a regular stint in the Championship where he scored some good goals. Managed by Neil Harris, who took over after an absolute chaos couple of years from Steve Lomas, then Ian Holloway. Got the job from Holloway, already pretty much relegated. And in 2 seasons, rebuilt us and took us back to where we now currently are, which is in the Championship. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I will do another one next week. If we've got on a midweek game, it could be difficult, but I will try and film one. I'm interviewing Brian Horn tomorrow for Lions Lounge. I better message him because I haven't messaged him yet. But Brian Horn will join us tomorrow in Lions Lounge. Very interesting Mill career. A little bit further back, maybe to start with into the 80s, is the very interesting stuff for Horney. Saved penalties at Bournemouth and saved penalty at... no, he didn't save a penalty at Hull. Did he save a penalty at Hull as well? Saved one at Bournemouth. I remember that. England under 21s, played for us in the good times, played for us in the bad when we got relegated. So should be a very interesting chat. I was trying to get Casey Keller, custard pie for me, but he went on the Spurs thing. So that tells you anything you need to know about Casey Keller. He's a boring bastard anyway and wouldn't be very interesting to talk to. Still chasing Colin Cooper, still chasing Mick McCarthy. Andy Roberts, I don't think, is having it. But I am still trying to get people on board. But tomorrow I will be sitting down with Brian Horn. And they will always now go to Mondays, Lions Lounges. Now the football's back on, they'll go out on a Monday because once I've done everything on a Sunday, that gives me something to enjoy on a Monday. Steve Lee says, mention the Patreon. You're a good man, Steve. You are a good man. Our Patreon's starting to pick up. It's £2.50 a month. It's an American site, by the way. I think that's why it's putting a lot of people off. It'll charge you $3.22, which amounts to around £2.50. So, yeah, we have got a Patreon page. I was starting to get the grips of that Patreon at first. I wasn't really sure the best way around it, but there's bonus footage from every single Lions Lounge we've ever done on there. These Mill history videos. Remember the Mill history videos I was doing a while back? And I'm going to start doing a once a month quiz for the Patreons. You can only watch it if you're on Patreon. And I'm going to give a bit of Millwall memorabilia away every month. All your money will do is reinvest and just create more content. It's not. I'm not in it for the money for the Patreon. If I was in it for the money, I'd put down my laptop, my cameras, I'd go back to doing the job I used to do when I was on 800 grand a year. I didn't like that job. I love doing this. So the Patreon, you get a free face mask. Look at Steve plugging the Patreon. You get a free face mask as well if you sign up now for Patreon. £2.50 a month. 4 bonus videos as a minimum. And I say this month, Actually, I'm probably starting next month. Going to do a quiz. I'm going to give a little bit of free memorabilia away every month. The first one for the quiz I bought is the 1970 strip, the white one with a Millwall old crest on it. I'm going to get Alan Dorney to sign that, and then I'm going to give them away. Harry Lavelle Baker says, any more documentaries coming out after lockdown? I am desperate to do more of this stuff. A lot of people have said to me that this channel has improved massively during lockdown. And I do know what you mean, because these are going well. The lockdown interviews are going well. I like doing pre-match predictions. I like standing in the cold and wet, getting abused, doing fan cams. But that ultimately wouldn't be my dream. But I have to get views for my sponsors, and doing the in-game stuff pays the bills, unfortunately. I would love to be a millionaire that just went and did documentaries constantly and didn't even do I still go to the games, but I wouldn't ideally do pre-match predictions, do post-match analysis. I do enjoy that, but that isn't my dream. My dream is to cover football documentaries and rivalries all over the world, do a lot more in-depth Millwall stuff. I'm trying to sort out doing another documentary, more Millwall documentaries. I'm really into the history at the minute. I've been buying a lot of stuff, memorabilia off eBay, and I'm really into it. So I do know it's improved. I do know the sort of stuff that everyone, the younger viewers, I think, enjoy the fan cams and the pre-match predictions. And I know some people think, it's a bit muggy, all that, but sometimes you have to do things that pays the bills, and that's exactly what the in-game stuff does. And I do enjoy the in-game stuff, but what I enjoy most and going forward, eventually, if I get the views and the subscribers, I wouldn't have to do the in-game stuff as much. But that is what gets me my views. That is my bread and butter. But yeah, going forward, Harry, to answer your question, short story long, there is more documentaries planned. We're 4 years in that Alliance TV, and I've got ideas, content ideas coming up my arse, but I need to grow. I need to grow. I've got that. See, that camera there is my main camera behind me. I've had that since day one. And I need to try and, again, that's another reason I started the Patreon. That's not a plug, but to get better equipment. And I'm putting out, actually, the 25th. Is that tomorrow? I'm going to put out tomorrow. We went to the World Cup. Me, Tony Warner, and Kieran went to the World Cup 2 years ago tomorrow. And we did vlogs. We did vlogs. And I watched them all back the other day, and they're really good. And I stopped doing vlogs because I don't think a fat 40-year-old geezer should keep walking around like this on a phone. But what I'm going to re-edit and put out is the Road to Moscow all in one long video. It's really good. It is really good. So if I can get a little film crew behind me and stuff like that, I'll happily go and do that. But I don't want to keep walking around getting into my old age like with a camera in my face all the time. That's why I don't really do away days anymore. You know, I do the full-time reaction. But other than that, that's only really every time I film myself in the ground now. So B-Line says, you're going to have the memorabilia on store. Yeah, 1 second. I'll show you something. Charlie knows what this is. Yeah, 1 second. I'll show you a few bits, actually. Why not? Why not? I struggled to get some of it in shot. Oh, sorry if you're not interested in this side, but I'm going to show you. So that's Lee Gregory's match-worn shirt they give to Mini-Me. I bought the frame. You can buy these frames. Charlie Richardson give me the link for only 40 quid. Look, and then that's the shirt he was wearing that day. And the plaque, actually, they spelt wrong, which they've got to send me a new one for. If you do that yourself, you put them in the frames yourself. And what I'm going to have, I'm moving soon. And I'm going to have a whole wall, top to bottom, of memorabilia. So I've just started buying little bits. Oh, no, that's the picture of me, kid, with Lee Gregory's shirt after the game. That wasn't what I was looking for. I bought this off eBay. Look at this print I bought off eBay. This is a nice one. That's the earliest picture I can find, by the way. Does anyone know if there's an 1885 photo? Because that's 1895. I bought this today, and I've got a lot of match-worn shirts. So I'm going to have a whole wall, top to bottom, of all the memorabilia. I've just been buying little bits off eBay, little just picking up little bits. I'm really enjoying it. I've got 3 of these bad boys. Where's the best way to put that? Yeah. Terry Erlock, Millwall legend. I bought 3 of them. Look, I might give one away. They're only £3 on eBay. You see that one there? Look, see? Got that. I've got some of these. Who remembers these? Who remembers these in the 90s? I probably got into the 90s as well, since since I did the 90 stuff. These are like pro cards. Like this Teddy, Steve Wood. Got some nice bits and bob. I feel like a sad old geezer showing you my memorabilia collection, but I've got a few decent bits. Hang on. These I didn't even know what these were going to come out like, but they're so you won't. Look, I didn't realise they're going to be this small. Oh no, where's the other one gone? It's in there. Look how small these are. Keith Weller. My dad come round today. My dad said that Keith Weller was the best player he ever saw for Millwall. Would you agree with that? I've got some. I might even buy some more of these pro cards and give them away to Patreons. I'm only going to give stuff away to Patreons, by the way, for now, because it's only fair. They pay to support the channel. So, Barry Kitchener. So, I might get a few bits like this, put together little packages, and give them away on Patreon as well. Yeah, just a few little bits like that. What else have I got in here? And that's all that. And then, this I thought was going to be bigger than it was when I bought it. But on the back of everyone talking about Eamon Dunphy last week, I bought that, but that's quite little. I've also bought in colour, and this is the glory. Hang on. Hey, there is two. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There's two there. I want to give that one to my mate Steve Lees because he supports the channel. He's counting up for me every week. So there you go, Steve. I'll send you one of them, mate. I didn't realise there was two in there. I didn't pay for two. But yeah, there you go. So that'll all be going on the wall of fame when I move, whole wall top to bottom. But yeah, them little eBay bits, I'm picking them up. Like them Barry Kitchener and Keith Weller card, and that was like 50p. That's why I just like sitting there. It makes you feel. I'm not rich by any stretch. I'm poor. But if you go on eBay, it makes you feel rich. Actually, this was 38 quid because that's like an original. That's like a decent print. But yeah, get yourself on eBay and just type in Millwall. Millwall shirt and all stuff pops up like that. If you get into a bidding war, it's probably with Charlie Richardson. I'm currently trying to get that Fairview one, Charles. Not the second year Fairview, the first year Fairview. I'll send you one of these, Steve, as well. Want one of them Terry Earlott ones? I've ordered some more badges this week. I've got 3. One's for me, one's for Mini Me, and you can have one of them, Steve. I'll send you that and all. That's what sort of guy I am. Yeah, so there you go, everyone. Sorry if I bored you a bit. I feel like a really sad, lonely old man who lives on his own and just looks at his memorabilia, but I'm loving it at the minute more than ever. So thanks for watching. Billions tonight. Oh, there was another one chart that came up. There was another one that came up. Sorry, I've gone into non-present mode here. I was only 28 you're watching anyway. We're just having a chat. Yeah. So listen, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be speaking to Bronx tomorrow. That will be out on Monday. And tomorrow's Wednesday. So yeah, Thursday I'll be back in action with a pre-match prediction for Barnsley. Not too confident about that one. But there you go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Put in the comments below what loan, best, worst, Irish, foreign, what 11 you want to see next. And next week I'll try and make that happen. We've got a midweek game now, I think, have we? I think we've got Swansea at home next week. But I'll try and get it done anyway, regardless. I'm really trying to pump it. I'll do this 7 days a week. That's all I ever do. Do this and see my kids. That's all I do. So hard work is always the winner. Say nothing. Keep quiet. Put your head down. Work hard. Kill them with success. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Come on, you Lions.